Hey, what's up, guys? We're going to be picking up speed right now. We're going to be going over processing, basic beginner processing of sounds. And processing is basically effects, but not always effects. Some effects don't really process, but some effects do process. Two schools of thought, which would be, compression. Compression, you can think of like processing it, but then an effect would be like a delay or a reverb. But a reverb at a very small amount mixed with compression could be processing. It really depends on what you're doing. So we will hop to it. We will get a bass, whatever that is. Okay. Remember to show fades, elongate it, right? We'll figure out where that is. We'll loop that. That's at 1 bar. Cool. And then now, Control D. Always Control D. Right? Got our badass kick. So, there's a number of ways we can process this kick. And what I usually do with kicks is I smooth out the bottom. And what this will do is it takes out that muddy kind of mid to low end. I don't really like it. I never did. And what this does, this is processing. Before. After. It kind of gives it a nice sound, and then you just carve it. And your ears will tell you what's going on. We'll leave the compressor. Now we need a bass. We'll have an offbeat bass. We'll find one. Okay, cool. We have that. We will shorten that young man. Let's grab the end. Or we could drop it in MIDI. Actually, we'll drop it in a MIDI clip. Just because I'm a educator guy. Drop the same one. We won't worry about rootkits. We'll increase the volume to 0. We can also type in 0, hit enter, we're at 0. Right? So what we'll do is we'll select this part, this is where we want it, insert MIDI clip. Select the MIDI clip. Cool story, bro. We'll draw it in. And it's a good way to find your stuff. You can just press B. You don't always have to select or hit Control B. But it's always a good idea to always have your finger there. It works both ways. So, if that, all right. So now we have our offbeat. Control D. There you go. Right, and then we'll consolidate that. Here's another trick we can do. We don't have to consolidate this whole thing. We can consolidate just here to here. Consolidate. Yes, I know. That's a prompt for my virus that tells me that I can't render offline. There you go. We have that. Select the loop, and then there we have it. Now we have we freed up, hard space, consolidating just the kick as compared to, a bar. And you can keep up to that. You can even consolidate that again, and then it turns into that. But anyway, we have this guy, and then what we're gonna do now is we're going to drop an EQ. If I can find, here we go, EQ. And then we'll clean up that kind of muddiness so the kick can poke through. You'll notice that this is pretty loud, so we're going to lower the volume. And we're going to smooth that top part out. Now I don't like that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a filter. And I'm just going to kind of experiment. I'm going to bring this down. Right, but now it sounds kind of bleh, which is a sound, by the way. So we're gonna add a reverb. No, we'll add a delay, ping-pong delay, and wet to dry. So that would be an effect. So now we're gonna take all of that and put 2 compressors on there. Why 2, do you ask? Well, 1 is for taming it, and the other is for sidechaining, and we'll just sidechain that to 15. My kick is always on 15, and then now I'll bring the threshold down. Now I'll look at what it's doing, and that's about right. We'll increase the attack. Now it's quieter, so what we'll do is we'll just bring the kick down. Just give some headroom for the kick anyway, because the delay kind of reduces the volume in a way. Right, and then we'll try makeup gain. Okay, so let's add a clap and a hi-hat. Okay, clap and hi-hat. Always get good sample packs. Claps and snares. Okay, perfect. You have that. Shorten that just for fun. Control D, that's your clap. Always the second kind of beat. And now we need a cymbal, which would be a closed hi-hat. I like that one. We'll have that on the offbeat. Okay, so let's listen to this now. So now I need to put the clap and the hi-hat in its own space. And we're going to do that by creating a return track. Right click on the bottom, or anywhere really. Hit return, so we have our return track here. And what we'll do is we will add a reverb to it, right? But we'll turn the wet all the way up, so you're only getting the effect. So you're not getting, because when it goes back to these guys, you won't get the original sound. You'll just get the effect, but the original sound will be in the original track. So we'll do that with the clap, and we'll see where this goes. And the send return amount is right here. It's a little tiny bar. And we can increase the decay time. This is basically your room size. Okay. A little too much. We'll reduce that. And then we'll do this with this same thing with the hi-hat here. Not so much. Now we'll play them together. We'll see what's going on. Now, those sound good. I'm going to pan them just out of habit, and it kind of frees up the image. I'm going to select them, and we're going to do something that's kind of close to, oops. We're going to do something that's close to a return. We're going to group them, right? And we're going to add cool new plugin called Glue. And what this is going to do is it's a compressor, all the same, but it's modeled after the SSL, which I'm a fan of, and you should be too. And what this will do is it mimics the characteristics of that old British console, and it'll kind of make these two sounds in this group, right? It'll make it into one sound, okay? In a way, it'll clean up the dynamics, the loud and the soft, and it'll make it good, kind of thing. Solo it. Alright, and then this makeup right here. Don't worry about attack or release. You can have automatic there, and the attack at 1 is kind of okay, and the ratio 10 moves to 10. Makeup is gain, right? So here it is, on and off. Doesn't that sound better? So now we're going to add another compressor, and we're going to sidechain it, but we're going to sidechain it as a mixing technique to give it more space. My nose is really itchy. So now we'll do this. And I just want it slight. So you barely notice it. And this is processing. So now we'll play it all. Right, and that sounds pretty groovy. What I'll do, because we have an EQ and we have a compressor right after it, the compressor kind of basically dicks around with the frequencies again. So you notice that bass has quite a bit of low end, and it's kind of a little too loud. We'll listen to it again. So what we'll do is we'll carve out and we'll find, it's processing again, we'll find where the issue is. Right about there, it sounds okay. The clap's a little too loud, I'll reduce the volume. Okay, we have our percussion-y and our bass done. Let's add a lead. And leads you get away with, oops, insert MIDI. We'll just copy that. So now we will load, what kind of effect we'll use? Kind of instruments. Operator. You can go through these presets if you would like. Well, that sounds like crap. What are you doing? LOL. Maybe guitar unplugged. Why not? And then we'll add the MIDI. We got kind of a triplet, but not quite a triplet. So now we'll get into more processing and effects. We will cheat and take the side chain from this, which you can do just for the sake of ease. Drop it down here. So now we'll take let's drop a MIDI effect. And we'll bring it down one semitone, which is 12, or one octave, which is 12 semitones. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now what I want to do is add a bunch of things that I know I'll use. A Ping-Pong Delay, which is a delay that goes back and forth. A frequency shifter. This will dramatically weird out everything if you turn the ring modulation on. Cool. We'll add a chorus, which is basically a doubler. Chorus. An amplifier. Now we'll add some delay to kind of spread it out. I'd really be experimenting with that. That sounds like gash, but it's just a matter of processing it, maybe without the amp. So we have that. But it's not as loud as I want it, so we'll drop another compressor. The ratio, if you increase the ratio, it makes it louder, makes the compressor faster. That sounds pretty cool. We will add reverb. See, this is how complicated effects can get. You can just keep on adding and taking away. Alright, so that's what I was doing. Processing and return effects. Yeah, that's basically processing and return effects. It's more of a processing and effects with return thrown in. The return you can send anything to. And it's mainly to keep your reverb the same. Everything's kind of in the same room. I had only used a return track for reverb. Make sure it's all wet. And make sure that's all good to go. You can also automate, but remember, just to keep everything neat and tidy. Consolidate, 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 and loop, and you're good to go. And then you can add variations later. But hopefully, you're getting really good and comfortable making loops by now. And yeah, I'll be back again soon. Let me know what you think, and take care. Bye.